when all is said and done, I hope Chris and Sandy Roberts and their minions get this project over the finish line one day, and we can see that maybe we'll play a finished game one day. I would
Wicket,
love
we're
to see
barely.
that.
You're saying this as if this is the end of the talk show. Have we even had an intermission?
Oh,
Anyway,
you're right.
no,
You're
no, no,
right.
no, no,
We have an
no,
ad break.
no. I
He's
got
right,
something.
dude.
I got something for Sandy at the end when we get our little last word in. I got something.
Well, that's how we get banned.
How do you get banned?
The thing is, though, now that you say that, I can't unsee it. You're absolutely right.
The reclaimer. Let's talk about that first, because I was going to go in a totally different direction.
You can make as much money as you need and work your way towards any ship in the game.
They were trying to cash in off of that nostalgia and that hype.
Oh yeah, baby. How you feeling, buddy?
I'm feeling all right. Feeling pretty good, actually. How about yourself?
Feeling good. Happy to be here on Open Comms Radio, your Star Citizen call-in show. JarJar.
And I'm Tav.
Oh, hey, Tav.
Hey there.
Oh boy, you've been playing a lot of Star Citizen recently?
I've been playing a little bit. Yeah, a little bit here and there. Nothing too
How's it been?
special, but I mean, I don't do any of the crazy stuff. I'm not on the PTU, so yeah, pretty much. It's been good till real recently. There's some memes that I'll have to send you that we can go over.
Oh, you know what? I'll put them on the send them to me. I'll put them on the video. Put them on the
Okay.
YouTube. Put them on the YouTube. We'll make sure, even on the Spotify, we put the video up there in case you guys want to watch it. Listen on the Spotify. I know. I think one person. There's one person who listens on the Spotify. So, whomever you are, thank you.
Deeply.
Deeply. You know, if you go on Spotify for too long with no views, they just take you off.
I just thought they just let you think that people are listening. But
They
I
do.
guess,
They just,
yeah, it is data, so...
no, I think they just let you talk to dead air. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really. No dead air here today. I'm going to do a little switcheroo here.
Let's do it.
I'm going to switch our displays here. Boom, boom. You should get it right there. Yeah. We're going to start here with the roadmap roundup. Oh, and nice. And we're going to talk about your picture you sent me, Tav. So, roadmap roundup. Look at people. For all you naysayers, for all you doubters, irradiated apex Valakar. That's the giant worm.
Finally
That's
arrived.
the big one. Finally here. Oh yeah. So, you know, all the naysayers, you've been nay shut up. I don't know. I don't know what the opposite is, but you've been yesed. New hairstyles, irradiated copion, radiation, implementing dangerous radiation zones. Okay? So this is no secret. We're not gonna talk too much about this, but I think we should just, you know, be conscious that this is a solid patch coming our way. This is like really, really solid.
Get some content. Yeah, absolutely. I heard they were going
ASD.
to do something. I mean, maybe it's an X patch after 4.2, but I saw something about co-op missions or missions against kind of the AI, less PvP centric. This Valkar sounds like it's going to be quite a show with all the orgs competing over it.
Yeah, I mean that's got to be what they were talking about. That's in this one. So I don't know if you've seen any of the footage. I've seen some of it, and it's pretty cool looking.
It does look pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. And then we also have, you know, Stormbreaker sandbox activity. I don't know if that's the same thing as with the worm. Stormbreaker? I'm assuming
it's
it
all
is.
the same, related mission chain or series of events.
They're just splitting it up on the lists.
Yeah, kind of like Hathor has different elements to it.
Dynamic rain. We did a whole episode about rain. Guys, let us know what you thought about the rain episode. I put a lot of work into the rain episode. Okay, I spent a whole
I'm
morning.
still stoked for that.
Spent a whole morning looping rain, and I'm pretty excited about it. So, and then we have our ships, or the ships. So that's the roadmap roundup. Nothing too crazy. No surprises here. I don't think, right?
No, we've been discussing it for a little while, so yeah, no, that's pretty all expected at this point, I would say.
All right. Well, you sent me this photograph here. This is for the listeners. This looks like you're in a facility. You got a bunch of dudes with like multi-tools, and that guy's got a med gun out. I don't know what he's doing on your left there. What am I looking at?
So this is remember me being trapped in Pyro, and I was like, I'll just spawn back. So I pop up in Loreville and come out of the hab, and this is right there, and you can't walk past it. This is right when you walk out of the habs in Loreville. And so
This is in live,
how
yeah.
I was like, how did they get these boxes? And they were tons of them all over the place. And then when we finally squeezed through, we get to the spaceport, and it's also blocked off fully. In that second picture I sent you, and it was just like,
Oh, okay.
it was
Because
a
this one,
pretty
I was like,
epic
what
troll.
the fuck am I looking at?
Yeah, yeah, that's the spaceport. The door going to the tram. So like,
Yeah. Oh, that is an epic troll.
yeah, and you can't get through it. So it's
I mean, good job to whoever got those in there. I'm like you, dude. I have no idea how they even did that.
yeah, because we couldn't even bring out like an atlas that would get like claimed or whatever.
Right.
If you tried to bring it anywhere. So yeah, I don't know.
All right. So this is how big is this SCU? This is like a 32 SCU or something?
Yeah, it looks like a 32.
It's a giant shipping container just shoved in the doorway in the station. So I do feel bad for like the devs, man, because this is stupid.
I know. Who thinks of this?
All these like tiny little things they have to think of, man. It's too much because everyone's just looking to break the game. Everyone's looking to break the game.
To be expected.
And so, there's our intro. Hold on. Turn that off. Sorry, everybody. And so then we have the PU monthly report. Every month we get the PU monthly report, and every month in Open Comms we don't go through the whole thing, but we talk about some things that we like to see. For me, I like to see all the way at the bottom. Oh, look at the community. We'll show the community one. Look at that guy. Oh yeah. Okay, looks good. So, they went to Beijing. If you didn't see the Beijing links already, I feel like they've had this photo here for like the last 2 months. They've been posting the same photo of them in Beijing. Am I wrong? Didn't they share this last month?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. Doesn't matter. Lots of core gameplay stuff. They use the word quality of life, which chef's kiss. Anything more I can do to improve the quality of life of the game, baby. But it's all kind of old. 4.1.1. They're talking about older stuff. Talking about how you can get healed now. Radiation gameplay. This is what I was talking to you, Tav. For upcoming gameplay, medical beds now heal radiation damage. A pass was also done to ensure players receive proper visual feedback on radiation in the environment. And then they just share a photo of like a medical room, but it doesn't demonstrate the visual feedback. It just is a random photo of a medical room. Work in progress. So I don't know if this is supposed to be a specific ship.
Yeah, if you
Or
think
they like,
you think, or a different location.
or maybe they're
I can't say.
teasing.
Maybe somebody from the that's been playing the PU would have a.
Well, I'm not sure this is in PU
the
yet. This
PTU.
looks pretty. Yeah. I'm not sure this is in PTU yet because this is pretty like barren. Like it doesn't look like there's a lot of detail here. I would imagine there's another texture pass, another layer that goes on top of this.
Everything looks a little bit plastic.
Yeah, it looks a little bit, 2007, 2008. But I don't know why they would put this in if not to tease a ship. And we know they have some big ships coming in down the pipeline, right? We just got the Idris. What about the Javelin or the Galaxy or the Apollo? I don't know if this fits into any of those, but if you know, let us know.
Doesn't look like the Apollo to me. I mean, maybe it could be from a corner of it, but
I thought the
they were
Apollo
rumored to
was
work on
like,
the Apollo. So
yeah, but I thought that was more of like a triage thing. It's gonna have like multiple beds, not like one bed. And
yeah,
this looks like it's in like a bigger ship, like a capital ship or something. It could
Hmm.
also be in a space station or like it doesn't have to be in a ship.
yeah, that's what's that new location.
Yeah. They're doing lots of lighting passes, which is actually really needed in the game. There's so many like lighting bugs and glitches that, they just need to clean that up.
Welcome a polish.
And then locations, just making things look pretty. But you go all the way down to, they did UI, online technology. This is what I want to see. More work on DSM. That's what the pros call dynamic server meshing. Yeah. So, anything else you'd notice about this tab?
I mean, nothing jumps. It's all, yeah, the stuff. I guess that'd be the leaks that would be more interesting to me. I mean, all the stuff is great to see, though. I mean, you love to see progress.
Yeah. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. Speaking of things we love to see, we have a few people in the waiting room, and we're gonna get to them real quick because I didn't realize we had so many. You see that shit?
It has. It's grown.
It's grown a lot. So I'm going to pop up one of these, and we're going to have our first caller come in. Someone that you know, someone that you love, someone that can hopefully answer our question this week on Open Comms Radio. This week's question for all our callers who called in is, did you get Squadron 42 stickers in the mail? Tab, did you get Squadron 42 stickers in the mail?
Absolutely not. I don't think I'm that level of admiral.
Well, let's see if this guy is Wicket. You're on Open Comms Radio. Did you get Squadron 42 stickers in the mail?
Citizens. Long-time listener. 18th time caller. My God.
19th.
No, it's 18th. You're wrong.
Last episode was 18.
No, you're wrong.
Really?
Yes.
We'll have somebody go back and count.
No, because last episode Tab was like, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay, I was
exactly.
wrong. I have no idea.
I was wrong?
You were wrong.
Oh,
Unbelievable.
well, welcome.
Thank you. I did not get stickers, unfortunately. Guess that's it. Thanks.
Welcome. Thanks for stopping by.
But 4.2 is looking good. And look, can we go back to that picture with Sandy and all the Asian minions?
Yeah. Just behave yourself, please. There they are. Look at them. This was on last month's report, right?
I no, she was at some other thing last month, but again, it's like her, and I guess that other female there is her daughter.
Yeah.
But they were surrounded by a bunch of sweaty Star Citizen, quote unquote,
Poor
double
kids.
bunny air backers.
Yeah.
But look at this picture.
What about it?
Well, I was watching this other creator the other day. He was talking about how, when Star Citizen goes into China, China doesn't let anybody in their country, like an entity, unless you're partnered with a company from China.
No, that's
Remember
not
how
true.
No, that is true.
No, that's not true.
That is true. Look it up.
I know a lot of people have been to China.
Well, yes, you can go to China, but if you want to set up business there, If you want to sell there, if you want to put a business there, you have to partner with a Chinese company. Oh yeah.
I don't.
In any event, remember how I was talking about Tencent?
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
here we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
I see a couple of Tencent representatives there in the back. The Asian
Bro,
fella.
I don't even know who Tencent is. I thought that was a rapper.
No, Tencent is this gigantic Chinese conglomerate. They do TV,
It's like
movies.
Timu.
They own Riot, the guys
Okay.
who make League of Legends, and
Okay.
and then there's another company from China that owns CCP, the people that make EVE Online. It's not Tencent, but it's a similar company.
You think they gave him like publishing rights or something?
Well, no, but that's gonna it the Asian market has a fundamental, they're
It's
fundamentally
huge.
not opposed to pay to win. It's just like
Mhm.
part of their nature. If they can pay to win, they'll do it. And of course, this is a perfect fit. Our pay to win little indie development here.
Yeah.
It'll just make a perfect fit.
Okay. All right. All right. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I don't agree with you.
Well, why would you?
I think, yeah. Why
You're,
would I? I just think
you're,
I just think it's a big market, and they're gonna sell
well,
to it.
well,
It could influence the development for sure.
well, no, well, I don't know. I don't really think it's going to influence the development that much, but I think it will potentially. Now, this is potentially. Everything's potentially with this game because nothing's set in stone because nothing's completed. It's hard to say what anything is going to be. That's why a lot of times I'll see a lot of discord about discussions about this and that ship and these tweaks and these nerfs and these boosts. To me, it does none of it really matters because by the time the game finally releases, all that stuff's going to change probably 10 more times between now and then. So
Right.
everything they change is kind of irrelevant to me. And it's just going to be a fleeting change because if anything ever even has the inkling of having a little bit too much oomph in it, and especially if they want to sell something similar to that in the store the next week or the next go around, not next week but like next month or whatever the case may be, they just nerf that one thing into the ground so they can sell the next new shiny that'll take its place.
Yeah. What were you saying about China?
China, well, in China they have a lot different monetization practices that are more acceptable in the Far East than they are here in the West. In the West, we're inherently opposed to anything that smells of pay to win.
I don't know
But
about that, dude. We got a lot of pay to win stuff. I mean, nowadays maybe you're right. Nowadays it's stricter. We had that like era of the last 10 years where it just felt like everything was kind of pay to win, didn't it?
mhm.
I'm with you. But I don't know, man, China, like I think how like Disney has like a scene of like two ladies kissing for the US, and it's just like a really quick like 2-second scene, and then in China they just cut it out.
Mhm.
I think that might be possible. They're like, we're not going to sell your game if you have, but I think it would probably just be like cut out in China.
Maybe. I'm more worried about how any kind of new monetization practices that are acceptable over there, they'll try to make acceptable here. Which, I mean, to be honest with you, I guess it really doesn't matter because they're throwing everything against the wall to see what'll stick anyway.
Well,
But
something stuck for you recently, didn't it?
I don't know what's that.
Well, I just had a video of you flying that MX. Did you bought that MX? Good cold hard cash?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, Tav, back me up here.
I mean, it is kind of caught red-handed. Like,
Come on, buddy.
That's a loaner.
Oh, okay.
That's the loaner.
Who loaned you the
No,
cash?
I melted a ship and bought that ship.
You can buy whatever ship you like. You know what
So
I'm
they
saying?
tell me, and listen. I said last time, I'm one of the backers, and what does CIG think of the backers? I told you last time, we're idiots.
It's true.
Double bunny ears.
I've met many.
I mean, I feel stupid.
Well, you know
But
what?
I like the ship, and I said, what the hell,
Yeah. No, it's a good ship. Well, you hold that thought. You hold on to that feeling, Wicket, because I'm going to pull up our next guest with us. Jeez Louise. Okay, it was Cosmic Hobo was next.
Cosmic.
Yes.
Cosmic Hobo, our resident hobo. Thank you for calling in to Open Comms Radio, your Star Citizen call-in show. Our question this week, Cosmic: did you get Squadron 42 stickers in the mail? Cosmic. All right, well, Cosmic's not with us at the moment. I'm going to pull him back down. I'm going to replace him. I'm going to replace him with Shveet. Shveet, you there, buddy?
Hey, how
Shveet's
goes
here.
it, buddies?
Goes great, Shveet. Shveet,
Thanks for having me on the show.
Welcome
thanks for
back.
coming back. Shveet,
Well,
you got
what's
the
up?
stickers?
The what stickers?
Did you get the stickers? The Squadron 42 stickers?
No, I didn't get any.
Ugh.
Was I supposed to?
Did you see? Somebody in our Discord got stickers mailed to him like out of nowhere. So the stickers.
What's the significance of the stickers?
Well, the stickers are Squadron 42 stickers, and they just appeared in his mailbox. So I think the significance is they're teasing. They're teasing enough to mail random stickers to folks.
They probably just avoided me since I'm not of the blue variety of North American. I'm just the red and the white.
Okay, well because you're Canadian.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, we there is no blue in the Canadian flag, so we're never sad. It's almost illegal to be sad. We're just angry.
How do you feel right now? How do you feel about Star Citizen?
It's in a good spot. Servers are dying, which I think CIG acknowledged, but that's almost to be expected. But beyond that, game's been good. Been smooth. No, I mean 30Ks. I'm not gonna say it's out of in the past, but I don't remember the last time I had one. That's the big question. When was the last time we had a 30K? A true proper.
Not me.
Been a
Drake?
second. Yeah, been a hot second. Which, I mean, there has been other problems, whereas, certainly today, just the lack of the lag. I mean, the servers have been anything but snappy real recently. So,
Yeah.
but I don't know if that's because they're trying to push a new patch, and I don't know if do they spool some down and spool some up elsewhere? I don't know how any of that works, but
it just goes into a rotation, spool one, turn off the other. Kind of like you're switching tires out if you have a fifth. Always rotate the fifth one in.
yeah, I hope it's not for these systems, these backend systems getting clogged to the point of, oh, they're going to have to wipe ever so often, just to keep the backlog down. But like I said, looking forward to a new patch. I feel like with a new patch, you have that. Hopefully, things get a little bit reset.
Well, I'm looking forward to the day that we get rid of that. That's why I was so kind of excited about the dynamic server meshing. I know they mention it like every month, but it's like I don't want it to work better when a new patch comes out. I want it to work the same all the time.
Oh,
I'm sure
yeah,
we'll get there
likewise.
eventually, but CG does this game does need a lot of cleanup. Let's face it, how many thousands of people just dump Cruise Dark onto the ground? Not many, because we actually put our garbage away. It's all the Cruz Lux guys that just leave it all over the place. You see those green bottles out in the middle of nowhere.
I can't believe you just like right away,
sometimes you got to eat it out there.
Sometimes I invite you.
Go straight for the throat.
That's totally unbelievable that you would just come up in front like that. You're lucky Wicket's no longer on the couch. And I'll tell you what, I'm not going to tell him about it. Okay.
Oh, good. So I'm not getting. I'll take it. I won't complain. But
All
anyway,
right, but
beyond
let this be a PSA to everybody. Throw away your trash, okay? Don't just dump it anywhere. It's bad for everybody. You know, it's bad in the real world. It's bad in the game.
Yeah.
It's just
But
a
most
general rule.
importantly, yeah, just try to keep the game smooth. Anything we can do.
Yeah.
Which you,
Anything
can't,
you
you
do to
gotta
help out.
believe that trash can't really affect it that much, but I don't know. Maybe every little bit helps, right?
You know, I mean, how hard would it be for them to have a trash like throwaway or like a recycling bin type system
I
that
thought
they
that's
could just
what they
put
said
in?
that they had for a second there. It was in like an Inside Star Citizen where the trash can was supposed to work. I really thought that was.
When?
I don't know. That or I dreamt it. I have no idea. Who knows?
soon TM.
I really thought that there was like, yeah, you would put it in there and it would cycle, it would remove the object. Almost
Yeah, I
possible
mean,
they've discussed
I've
this.
heard of it, but I feel like that's just something like I've heard through talking with people. I've seen like, oh, of course they're going to do that, which is really dangerous, by the way. If it is just us being like, oh yeah, they'll do that, and like they never said they would do it.
Yeah. The onus is definitely on the player there.
All right, all right. Did you ever watch the Drew Carey show?
Yeah. All the time.
Okay, so you remember in the Drew Carey show, the neighbor guy with the black hair, like he was tall, and he would kind of just talk like this the whole time. You know what I'm talking about?
Is he the guy from Office Space?
Yes. Yeah, he plays the construction guy in Office
Yeah, in
Space.
Office Space. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm zipping through this. I thought I had it here. This guy looks like him. The guy they have giving you the missions. Although now I can't find it for whatever reason.
I
He
would
was in
not
my
put
little
it past
monitor there.
CIG to actually have it be, yeah, like a more recognizable actor.
I don't think it is. Ah, dude, why isn't he there? Oh, of course there he was.
Oh, I was like, what's
There he
going
is.
on in
There
the
he is.
stream?
There he is. There, that's him.
We're jumping all over the place.
It's
Oh,
the guy
okay.
from Drew Carey in Office Space.
Okay. That guy.
That guy. Huh? Well, Shafi, anything you want to add before I bring up our next caller?
Nothing right off the top of my head, but let's bring him in. It sounded like he had some technical difficulties, so sure he's
Yeah.
all hyped, ready to go.
All right. Here he is. Cosmic Hobo. You there?
I'm here. Can you hear me this time?
Whoa.
Welcome back.
Do I sound like I'm from the 40s still?
No.
You sound like you're from the 70s.
Hey,
Yeah.
groovy.
Yeah. Good job. Did
Actually-
you get any Star Citizen Squadron 42 stickers in the mail?
I did not.
This is very interesting. Only that one fella, huh?
Yeah, I think he bought them.
And forgot
He
about
said
it.
you think he bought him. Oh.
And then, and forgot it. He did. It happens. We all buy things occasionally that we forget about.
No.
And then it's a pleasant surprise when it just shows up, and it's like,
No.
ooh,
Guys, that is not normal.
You
Come on.
never bought something
It
that's
was-
just totally forgotten about it, and then shows up, and you're like,
oh
surprise.
yeah.
That is privilege.
No.
That
Which one
That
are you
is-
talking about?
It's not how I plan on opening.
Oh my
was
gosh,
gonna
Cosmic.
follow rebuttal to Wicked, of course, but
Oh, what did
since
Wicked say?
he's stepped away from the couch,
Well, you can
Oh.
talk shit about him.
I'm
You
not
can
gonna talk
handle
shit
it.
about Wicked. I'm just gonna cover one of the things he said, which was that when pretty much business practices in China, which I have a background in international affairs, so I feel like I can speak to this a bit. He's and to be clear, he's not entirely wrong. There are two ways to go about starting a business or going into China for business. There's the wholly foreign owned enterprise, that's the WFOE, which is you essentially build a company from scratch inside of China to follow all of China's labor laws, the other
Or lack
laws,
of.
etc. Those things. That's expensive, and a lot of companies don't do that because you got to pretty much build an entirely new company on the ground, everything included. So the method that Wicked pointed out, and he is not wrong in this, is that you would need a local partner. This is not exclusive to China. A lot of countries have this. It's not unusual at all. At the rate we're going, the U.S. might try and have it at some point. It's fairly protectionist in nature, but yeah, joint ventures. What he described was a joint venture, and if CIG wanted, well, okay, CIG is already has a presence in China. Just look at look at their bar citizens there. That's a massive turnout. But I think the servers are hosted outside of China.
Are they on Amazon servers?
Yeah, they're AWS, and AWS already has a presence. So the idea that CIG needs to necessarily
But-
do things dramatically differently in China, I don't think so. It just depends. There's a lot
But
of
aren't
it
the
depends.
AWS servers that they're on, aren't they located in China? It's kind of like the same thing because they won't let anything through the Great Chinese Firewall.
There's exceptions, but sure, we don't. I can't say that any of us know the exact setup that CIG and AWS have, and how that exactly works. But if that's the case, they're already there. Like, I don't see a need to go in further if they're already partnered with AWS, unless they're trying to do something more. I don't know what more might look like, but we know that companies like Activision Blizzard and others, they wanted Call of Duty there, but that's a bigger beast in the sense that it's not just hosting a game server by that point. It's the whole thing. It's a
The
whole
whole
marketing. There's
The,
a
the
lot.
the other big space game out there, EVE Online, they have a big presence in China, but everything is in China. They have their own because EVE Online, obviously, everybody knows it's a single sharded server. Everybody plays on the same server, except if you live in China, you play on the Chinese server. So they're
Well,
separate.
there's anyone can tell you that there's plenty of Chinese bots that still make their way to
Well, they're not from China, though.
US and EU servers. Yes, there are ways around it. Like there's always ways around the Great Firewall. But like there are already bots and gold miners and whatnot, which
Understood.
they're already.
The point I'm trying to make is they have a whole separate
Oh yeah.
ecosystem for the EVE Online game in China. It's hosted in China. Everything is separate from the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And now I don't know if that's going to be the same thing for SC, but I don't even care about that part of it. I'm more worried about how things are monetized. And it's a well-known fact that in the East, in Asia, especially in Korea, I don't know about Japan, but I know about Korea for sure, and some of the other Asian markets, especially also in China, they do not have the taboo of pay to win like we do in the West. And
Sure.
my
But why is it
concern,
relevant
hold
to
on.
us?
my concern is that once
for it.
once they get an inkling of, oh, we can get away with that here. Let's see if we can do the same thing. Hence, server blades. There was a big uproar about that. You're buying more power again. But I mean, I would even argue to me the server blades weren't even that big of a deal because we're already selling full ships. You can buy a full ship.
Sure.
Hold on, you said server blade. You mean ship blade, right?
Ship, yeah, flight blades,
Blades,
umbrella
flight blades.
blades,
Uh,
eating blades,
now,
switch
hold on.
blades.
Wicket, you said in China, because they have the Eve servers and they're completely separate. Is the content separate?
Well, Eve is a unique in that most of the things that happen in the game, except for some events, are all player driven. So it's a whole separate ecosystem. It's the same content, but how things play out could be radically different from what happens in their world than happens on the Western, the other part of
Okay.
the world's Eve Online, because the players drive everything. There are events, obviously, and there's different PVE events that the developers kick off. But most of the content in Eve Online is mostly driven by politics, in game and out of game, and PvP. And
I don't
PvP
think
is
it's going
not
to be
only
that.
combat; it's also economic because of the gigantic economy that's in the game. But anyway, I digress.
I don't see how what would happen on the Chinese server would be relevant outside of it.
Well, I'll give you a perfect example. This happened a couple years ago. You may have heard of a little game called ArcAge. And ArcAge this was when there were a lot of games starting to come out of the East and trying to make a dent in the gaming environments of the West. And ArcAge was this new way at the time of looking at MMOs. There was more PvP, it was more open world, it was more sandboxy. And this game, I think it was XL Games was the developer, I think was the Eastern developer. And I forget who the developer was here. But anyway, they partnered with them, and then the client came over here. And they had an open alpha. And the way they handled that open alpha was you paid like $150 and you had access to it. And let me tell you something. I went hook, line, and sinker into it. It was a great game. I had a bunch of fun. And then all of a sudden, the game providers here in the West started adopting things that they were doing in the East. And then remember, as I was saying, in like China, Korea, the two bigger economies in the East, they don't care so much about having pay to win. That's not a big deal to them. Well, they started implementing a lot of those things that were not part of the Western client into the Western client. And then basically what ended up happening within about a 30 to 60 day span of those updates coming over from the Eastern client into the Western client, next thing you know, the most mighty weapon in the game was the credit card. And all you had to do was swipe, and you were the most powerful guy on the server until the next person swiped, and now you had company. But basically, the game became pay to win. It was well documented, and these things, it seems like the developers in the West keep making these same mistakes over and over and over again. Instead of listening to their player base, instead of listening to the people that are so passionate about their game that every time they get pissed off and they put a little nastygram on a forum that is then subsequently deleted because they don't like to be criticized. Next thing you know, we have that same crap happening here. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so their publisher in North America and the EU was still a Korean company. So it was a Korean company working with a Korean company. So
No,
there's
that's
no
wrong.
infestation.
That's wrong.
Paco, it's their publisher. It's listed on their Wikipedia.
That may be now, but back then it was not. There was a developer that sold the publishing rights to an American company. I don't know if XL Games was the original or XL Games was the American publisher, but I remember XL Games. It's been a long time ago. My memory isn't as clear. But the publisher in the United States was a Western US based publisher. I think it was Tryon Games. Tryon Games.
What year was this?
I think it was 2015, 2014,
Okay.
2016, something like that. It's been a minute. It's been a minute, but there's plenty of documentation about this. A lot of people made content about it. There was a lot of anger about it. And listen, it was that game, Arcade, was a beautiful game. It played well. It was, I mean, they had some imbalances and stuff, but then when all of a sudden you could buy your way to power, it ruined it. Nobody cared anymore.
Because the Korean company took over the rights for publishing. That's when it switched. That's when the game changed.
Well, that's not when it happened because the people who were swiping, they weren't swiping on a Korean on a Korean website. They were swiping on Tryon Games' website. Yeah.
It wasn't Tryon, it was Gamigo.
I don't remember that name. I just remember Tryon.
And they're German.
Tryon is who I paid my money to when I began playing the game. I think it was Tryon. I can't remember 100%. In any event, it doesn't really matter what the exact details is. It's just that something that's acceptable in one part of the world, they tried to make it acceptable in another part of the world, and there was a giant uproar, and it killed the fucking game.
I think you're vastly oversimplifying the.
Well, it doesn't need to. It doesn't
You
need
know
to
what?
be much. It doesn't need to be much more simple than that. But because
can I
that's what
Because
it
the
boils
Korean
down to.
publisher took over and started implementing Korean policies. It's not that complicated.
The
Could I
warning
wait?
is-
Hold on. Can
Well,
I?
you don't
can
have to be angry about it. It's just. I mean,
Hey,
did you
hey,
play
hey,
the
okay,
game?
quiet on the couch.
Sweet, thank you for mediating this. Tav and I we couldn't get in. I want to say though, I'm flipped. Wicked, I apologize. Honestly, after hearing your story, I don't know if it's true. I don't even really care if it's true. But I'm convinced that this is dangerous. This whole China thing. They could start doing that stuff, and I would. You flipped me. So
I don't think it necessarily has to be China. It just if you start seeing these bad practices and this typical like greed-filled behavior, it ruins these games. It's you
it
know
does.
there's multiple instances of this
Yep.
where people just stop playing because it's like, well, my efforts and my level of skill mean nothing anymore. All I have to
Right.
do is pay.
Yep.
And that's not gaming. I mean, if like let's say if we're a basketball team and this kind of happens in basketball even, if you can, if you're the richest basketball franchise, you can just buy the best player. It's kind of
Yeah, well, that's like
lopsided like
professional
that.
sports. That's
Yeah.
why. That's one reason I'm not into professional sports like that, because it's all just whoever has the most money buys the best players. Like
I'm just
that's the
saying,
sport.
to me, it's just a cautionary tale. I'm not trying to convince you that it shouldn't happen. I mean, well, I'm trying to convince you that we would hope it never happens. But these things happen.
Well, your warning is definitely heard, Wicked. It's I think we're so far into the paint already with this game.
Yeah.
I just
I think you're right.
I think I expect it. I think we all kind of expect a little bit of it, and there's enough good on the other side of the coin, at least currently. I had a great session today. Yeah, so it's a little baked in the cake for me. The process. And what will they think of next? Just try not to give them any ideas.
I know what they'll think of next, Tav. And you
Oh.
should be excited for it. You saw our I'm gonna call him our good friend. We've never met him. For Fox Gaming's channel.
Yes, it's a solid channel.
It's a solid channel. And what did he have on that channel?
Prowler. I guess it's hype. This might be little spoilers, but there's been some. We typically have Alien Week coming up. I don't know if it's in a week, 2 weeks.
2 weeks, I believe.
And seeing as how the Prowler continues to be busted beyond all belief, the idea is that hopefully we're going to get. I don't know. I mean, if anything, the current Prowler fixed or in a better working state, and then possibly a variant, which would be kind of cool. I don't know if that, or it's just a skin, but a variant would be super cool to have.
What's the evidence that we're getting a variant?
See, that's where it's just everybody talked about it. There's apparently like a bunch of Spectrum posts about it, but from the image, it just looks like it could be a skin.
So
At least as far as I can tell.
there's a little bit of evidence. There's not much, really. There's a line in a patch notes about Prowler all variants. There's the skin, of course, the teaser, which why they don't usually tease skins like that.
But it's Alien Week coming up. They're gonna sell skins. Why not sell skins to a ship? They already have, that they can
They don't
already put them
usually
on.
tease a skin like that, though. They just give it to us. It's like they sell it to us. Like usually their MO for teasing is not usually for skins. That's all I got for that. Like if they're gonna tease a skin, it'll be like the Star Kitten pulse in the background. It'll be
I agree with
the most
this.
recent one.
Yeah.
It's not
It
usually
seems-
the
it
social
seems like it
media tease.
Be a variant.
But there's and there's more evidence to the fact that that line in the patch notes about Prowler all variants. Okay, well, there's two things. One, they're working on the Prowler, and they did the exact same thing before the Valk, aka, and then, as some like to call it, the Valk 2, the Asgard.
It is.
I see. They patch it in, and like they fixed. You had the ladder problem. You couldn't even
Right.
get to the cockpit in the Prowler. And then, a month ago, they fixed it. 2 months ago.
Yeah, but I tried to get into it like last week, and I could not get the dang thing to drop the forward screen for the life of me. So it's just constantly riddled with problems, to where you can't fly the ship.
Tav,
But
you're
yeah,
I
they're doing
look-
updates to the Prowler. There's that line in the patch notes that kind of mirrors the hints we've gotten in the past. There's the tease that looks almost exactly like part of a Prowler. There's evidence. It's not great, to be honest. And the tease is like orange? Isn't it a stealth ship?
Yeah, because nothing says
Or-
yeah.
high
Don't look
high
at me
vis
like bright
orange
orange.
is cargo or maintenance or freight.
Yeah. It's some sort of utility thing.
It's gonna be a freighter. They're turning your beloved Prowler into a freighter.
That'd be ridiculous.
It would be such a waste of the platform to do that. Like, genuinely, I think they need it to be,
I
don't
have
know, a
I
stealth
have a
bomber or
question about
something.
the Prowler, and I know Tav's an expert. He's a Prowler enjoyer.
It's
Hey,
clearly
there's only
Raylan.
two in our outfit out of all those ships.
Well, I got one in
It's so
game.
But it needs love.
Well, yeah, I want to talk about expensive. Isn't the Prowler the most expensive ship in the game?
Prowler
that does
owners
not-
don't talk about the price. We don't talk about the price.
Wait a minute,
Yeah.
let me
Talk about the
finish.
price.
I have a legitimate question. Isn't it the most expensive ship in the game that does not have bed logging capability?
Yeah.
Doesn't have a
And,
bed.
and even the little jumpsuits that you're supposed to be strapping into, those haven't worked in years. I feel like it's years since those have worked.
Yeah.
Prowler's also been out for 4 years now, 4 or 5 years. So
Yeah.
Feels longer than that.
yeah, it does.
I love the concept of that ship. I love the
Been
look.
flyable for a year of that.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I
there's
love this ship. This
There's
is
fun
so.
ideas for the variants. I've heard a couple.
Okay,
fun
this is what I
ideas.
want. Yeah. Well, what do you want to see in a variant of this?
Well, the other one was like a scout recon. Re-rig the ship from drop ship to like scout recon.
What would that do? Scout
so
recon.
you'd have sensors, probably certain buffs. You'd probably get some form of habitation.
I could see
That
it.
would be
Cram
cool.
that in there.
And they can cram that in there and just rip out all the jump seats, and you got a ton of space. Second idea I heard was like an Atlas dropper, like you would attach Atlases to the outside of it, and then it would just come and just drop a bunch.
Oh fuck yeah!
That's-
Yep, dude. And then you get your orange one, because it's an industrial dropship for,
Cargo.
cargo atlases or like
I think you
mining
guys are all
atlases.
missing the big point
That would
of
be
that
really
ship.
weird, but
It's
That
CIG.
ship-
They make weird stuff all the time.
That Prowler, the perfect role for that Prowler is put a red and a blue light on each of the wingtips, like a police variant. Make it a bounty hunter. Make those little make holding cells where the little seats
That would
are
make
in
a
the
lot of
back.
sense. That would make a ton of sense.
Maybe give it a big enough ramp where you could put a bike on the back of it.
And are we getting updates? I think I read about something bounty hunting is getting reworked, re-implemented, something like that.
Apparently,
Player bounties
implemented.
were supposedly working again in live. I think somebody said.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
about it.
Yeah.
Well, player bounties are supposedly working. But they're also not working because I saw a video of someone trying to do them and like the bodies would disappear or they wouldn't get credit or they wouldn't get the payout. So like you can track the tracking of people generally works. So you can find them and you can shoot at them. Whether or not it registers that you killed them seems to be up in the air. But yeah, so if you're committing crimes, dude, watch out.
It's a
Definitely.
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I don't-
yeah, definitely.
The last mission I did, I haven't done any missions in probably 2 or 3 weeks. The last mission I did was this morning because I was panic selling, turning in the
The Wicklow?
mercenary script. And you have to sit there and you have to play whack-a-mole with the contract interface to try to get the missions so you can turn in your little 50 scripts. And then after I turned in all the scripts later this afternoon, somebody says, "Oh, by the way, they changed that. You don't have to panic sell those anymore." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Damn."
Yeah. Yep.
It
Been
seems
there.
silly that it got removed, and I know they wanted people to focus on the new event stuff, but it should have stayed in the first place. It shouldn't have been removed.
I think the worst part of the whole thing is that you have to play whack-a-mole with the interface just to try to snag the mission before somebody else does. That's just an asinine gameplay.
Oh
Why
wait,
can't
that's
you
a
just
global mission? That's not just a
Yes.
single like that's even worse.
It's a global mission that regenerates every 2 minutes. And if you're not the first one to take it, then you have to wait 2 more minutes. So I needed 6 missions to turn in my 300 I still hadn't turned in. So that took me about a good half hour to get 6 missions. And then when I had them all, then I just went around to each of his little castles and turned in the mission or the script.
I mean,
Yeah.
who's this for? This mission?
Wicklow.
Wicklow. Oh, the Wicklow script missions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you
for
turn
mercenaries.
you turn the MG scripts into Wicklow favors.
Yeah, you turn them in
via
and he gives you a
mission
favor.
from him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you need those favors to get stuff.
Yeah.
What?
And speaking of stuff, I heard that there's a chance for another Hornet and a couple other little ships coming out.
How many more Hornets do we need?
Bro.
I need another Hornet. Look, I have like 8, 9. I have the
Listen.
executive.
How
still
many
need
of
another
them
one.
can you fly at once?
All of them.
Really?
Okay, to be fair, he could lose one, then needs another one, then lose one, then need another one.
I mean, I'm a
In the
terrible
case of
pilot,
a fighter, yeah,
Oh,
it makes more
okay.
sense to have
All
multiple
right.
fighters.
That's a thin line.
For PvP especially, because
Oh, come on.
you're going to die.
Most of the time, by the time, like, okay, look, let's say that's true. By the time you respawn and get back in the ship, even if you don't have to get your ship resummoned, you have to claim your ship and you expedite it. Even if you have another variant sitting right there, by the time you get back into action, the fight is over. Come on.
Not always. Executive
Yeah.
hangers can drag on. That's
Clearly,
like the most
you're
common
not
place for that.
thinking big. You're. I'm gonna have the pizza box, the Liberator. And I'm gonna have every Hornet I can somehow stuffed onto it. If not the Liberator, then it's gonna be the Kraken. And then Operation Pitchfork happens. It'll be like a 15
All right.
day.
I hope your
siege.
dreams come true because that'd be amazing to see, but I'm not holding my breath.
Look,
Well, you
no,
wanna see-
my actual dreams with the Kraken would be painting it white and turning it into a mobile movie
All
theater
right. Well, again,
with a Plex
that'd be pretty
server and
cool.
all.
I hope
I'm
it
into that.
happens for you. Good luck.
Well, if you guys are taking a look at the screen, I just searched Hornet in the store to see how many there were, And there's a lot of Hornets. Like, look at this list.
Man, Schweet's horny for Hornets.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
Who do we
Plus the
12,
appreciate?
12.
I have
Plus
one.
the executive.
I have one version of it, and I think it's one of the most ugliest ships in the game.
Because you probably have the ugly version. Duh.
Which one's
They
the
all
ugly
look
one?
the same.
No, they don't. Take a look
Oh.
at the F7A Mark 1 versus an F7C, and
Oh
you'll
my
see a lot of
God.
differences.
F7A Mark 1.
Listen,
Yes.
if you saw them in the crowd, you'd think they were brother and sister.
Well, they are.
No,
Okay.
no. Okay, look. Take a good look at its tail. The
Look, you can
connector
compare
piece.
the variants.
Oh my God.
Look, the connector piece between the two little tail wings on the F7A, it juts upwards and then back down.
Oh.
On
okay.
all
Yeah,
the other
don't-
variations,
Okay.
it just sits
Don't
there.
don't challenge the horny Hornet people. They
Okay.
love their Hornets too much.
True.
All right.
It's
There's
not worth
also
the
an
effort.
It's different.
There's also
The
additional
metal goes in a different direction in one little piece. Okay.
I
You
don't-
got me. Oh, how
There's
could I
larger
be
air.
so
There's larger air intakes as well.
Oh my
You're
God! How
welcome.
could I not
Yep.
have gotten out my slide rule to measure these things? My
Yep.
God!
You're just not a connoisseur.
Yeah, obviously.
The Ghost is the cool one, though, right?
The standard black.
Yeah, standard.
All right.
Isn't
Well,
that the
you-
meta?
The ghost is stealth meta, so it's technically.
Yeah, and stealth is meta.
Well, stealth
Met-
firebirds they're less so now.
I mean, what other Hornet could we get, honestly?
bring
Like
up
the
the
F7X?
Guardian MX. Now there's a ship.
No, that's a piece of junk that might as well have been built by Drake.
Mhm.
I love this new store pages though, with these little like
Oh yeah, it's very pretty.
they did
Much
they
nicer.
did such a good job on the store.
The Matrix of Lies is still there, but it's it's still a thing.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it looks better though.
What did you call it?
It's the Matrix of Lies. It's an
Okay.
old term. The Matrix of Lies for any of the stats on any of the ships that they have listed there. They're almost always wrong in some way or another.
Okay.
Guardian
That's-
MX.
It's an old, like decade-old term because they always just did not update the store page.
Wicket, you spent $290 on this?
No, I didn't. Well, I guess in total, I did after I melted. stuff.
Probably a little bit. Probably a little bit less. Probably
Yeah.
270 or something. But yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how do you like it?
I like it. I've been flying it almost every time I play the game lately. But there's no toilet. There's no sink. There's no little storage for your Cruz Lux. There's no
No
bed.
bed.
This
There's
is
no
why
bed.
the Asgard
You
is a
can't-
superior ship.
You can't hardly put anything on it, but it looks damn menacing, and it has a shitload of firepower, and it's pretty tough to kill.
Okay. Fingers crossed I don't set the house on fire. It's
Don't-
currently not on fire.
Interceptor
Yeah.
going on right now. I think it's
There
a
it
TIE
is.
interceptor, right? Or is it the heavy TIE? I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's a
one of
TIE
those.
interceptor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's a
that
TIE
kinda look.
interceptor.
And I got that paint, the black one with the red stripe. Of
Maybe
course.
a TIE Advanced or a
I even bought a paint. I've never bought a paint before.
TIE
I
Avenger.
feel like
maybe.
such a sellout.
I just want you to know, Wicket, that you come into the show really hot sometimes. But at the end of the day, just like you're one of us.
Yeah. Of course.
You know?
I mean,
And
I
dude-
think that gives me the right to say something, right? I mean,
It
I don't
does.
have to like it.
Just because you're like 16-time viewer participant.
I mean, listen,
We're
don't
all
claim to-
equal here.
I don't claim to be right about everything. Most, I mean, I make my mistakes.
Okay.
This isn't
Yeah, like
this
the
is
Cruz
not-
Lux thing.
This isn't a
It's
how-to
slam.
show. This isn't a how-to show. This is just everybody sitting around and we're giving our opinions. Maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong, but I'm just one of the millions of people that are Star Citizen enjoyer, and just like everybody else, I have my opinions. You may not like them, you may agree with some, you may disagree with some, but and I'm the same way with everybody else. Sometimes I hear stuff and I think, okay, yeah, they hit that one on they hit the nail on the head with
Dome.
that claim, and then other times I hear
Mhm.
stuff. It's like, holy crap, I can't believe what I just heard. Anyway, I
Like
end of the-
another Hornet is coming.
at the end of the day,
Like that's
at the end of the
exactly
day,
what this game needed was one more Hornet.
Yeah.
Look, it's
when
going to be a
all is
Wicklow Hornet, and it's going to have some sweet stuff on it.
when all is said and done, I hope Chris and Sandy Roberts and their minions get this project over the finish line one day, and we can see that maybe we'll play a finished game one day. I would
Wicket,
love
we're
to see
barely.
that.
You're saying this as if this is the end of the talk show. Have we even had an intermission?
Oh,
Anyway,
you're right.
no,
You're
no,
right.
no,
We have an ad break?
no. I
He's
got
right,
something.
dude.
I got something for Sandy at the end when we get our little last word in. I got something.
Well, that's how we get banned.
How do we get banned? I'm
I have
talking
no
from the heart.
affiliation with this man.
I'm
Heart?
talking from the
Okay.
heart.
He is talking from the heart. He
Mhm.
is, and it's
Who's
and I
getting
value
banned?
who?
Nobody's getting banned.
Nobody's getting banned. We don't do
I don't
that.
think.
We're gonna. By the way, we're gonna take the show to Rumble.
I mean,
Oh
if we
God,
have to,
no!
I'm with you, man. I'm on
No.
board. Well, let's go.
I
If we do,
fixed my fan.
YouTube
have-
is limiting our
I mean,
speech.
I know I say a few saucy words here and there,
Bro.
and
If you think Wicket went off about China on YouTube, wait till you see Wicket on Rumble.
oh man, come on, man.
We're doing a live leak edition as well.
I don't have anything. I don't have anything against the Chinese.
No,
China.
you didn't. All right. So
Now that we lost our viewership.
Oh, last
Then-
like 2 viewers.
we lost 2 callers.
Yeah,
We had 2 other callers here, and they left. So that's
Shame.
what it is.
Yeah,
Tab,
you guys scared Duke away, and you scared Murphy away. Poor Murphy. He probably had lots to say about lots of things, and
Oh yeah.
it got
Dude,
a
he
little
would-
hot and heavy, and it scared him away. I know why Murphy couldn't stick around. You want to know why? Let me tell you. He needs to get his rest tonight because
It's like Beetlejuice.
oh,
You
wait a
gotta-
minute.
you gotta
Let me
just
stop.
wait.
Let me stop.
Ah!
Somebody just jumped in the waiting
This
room.
just keeps
Speak
happening.
of the devil, and he shall appear.
I'm not going to
Alright.
say anything.
All right.
Say his name 3 times, Wicket.
Murphy Jack. Murphy Jack. Murphy Jack.
The man, the myth, the legend.
I've
Jack.
been listening. I've been listening the whole thing.
Oh.
I just didn't really have much to say, so I was like, I'll hop off. It's been a night, so I did not get any stickers.
Well, we think he bought them, and I was excited about nothing. I had a whole conspiracy about the stickers, but
I have an update on the stickers, by the way. He said he didn't buy them.
see,
They were a gift?
he just got them mailed
guess,
to him.
or it was an
Oh
accident.
my god! So once you have a fleet like that, then you finally get somebody sends you some stickers.
Send him
Hey,
stickers.
thanks
Cloud
for
Imperium Games.
You're 5 digits into
thanks
the
for being a
support.
multi-ship buyer.
The
Here's some
support
stickers.
of the game.
He doesn't even like stickers, apparently.
I'll take them. I'll have one on my bumper sticker. Actually, he's got a Corolla. We could definitely sticker bomb.
Listen, if he
You should
doesn't
bring
like
him-
those, he should eBay that stuff. I bet it'd sell like hot. Like heck, some of the ships that sell in flight blades.
Hold on. You know what? No, that might be a good
stickers
idea.
will sell.
Hold on.
Crazy.
That might sell the stickers for about $1,000 a pop. Sell both of them. Make 2,000. Buy an F7A. Mark
Oh
1. Ooh.
See, his mind just gets in a Hornet and can't get out of it.
It's the one ship
Unbelievable.
he despises me for.
Unbelievable.
Well, Murphy Jack, thank you for coming to Open Comms Radio.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, okay, since
How do you feel?
he's got all of nothing to say. Let me
All right,
tell you
look,
why
look.
he
No,
left.
no, we'll go
Let me
through
tell you why he left.
we'll go through them, Wicket. We'll give him a chance on every
Intermission.
topic. We had a big show. He can do the whole thing. All right.
Yeah.
So, topic number 1, China.
China.
Well, it's funny because I did have a little thing on there and I did look it up. There was this game I played a long time ago called Voyage Century Online.
Here we
I don't know if
go.
anybody ever heard of it.
Nope.
And when it came out, it was great. It was fun. You sailed around in a ship. It was like two different styles. Like you'd be on a big world map and sailing, and you'd be exploring and finding places of interest. Now this is back like 2006, so it wasn't like advanced. But then you do ship battles, and then you could get off your ship and go into the cities. There were certain cities you could go into. You could sail all the way to Tortuga, which was way over by Cuba. You have to sail all the way over there. You had to make sure you had enough supplies. The game was huge. There was people. Everybody was playing it, and suddenly it became more of a Asian centric game, and it really did change. Like the store all of a sudden exploded with stuff, and people were buying all these glowy stuff and all this, and it killed the game. It killed it. It was the end of it
That's
because
happening.
it did become pay to win. So I've experienced that too, but I mean, I don't see it happening here, but I do think you need to be wary of it. But I think the way the community responded to Flight Blades, I think if anything more happens, the community's going to jump on them again. I mean, it's probably
Especially
going to happen again, but
especially for the fact that CIG acknowledged our concerns and complaints about those flight blades, where they, we know they will not necessarily bend the knee, but will understand what we're saying at the end of the day. So it's kind of one of those. As long if something happens, if we speak out, we do have a voice. That's what I'm trying to get at. Is we still have a voice in this game.
because I've been thinking about it for a while now about the Flight Blades, the flight model, all this stuff that the community gets all in an uproar and stuff. And it comes back to that old adage that everybody says it's an alpha. So when you step back and you think about that for a second, at least they're starting to talk about 1.0. At least it's like on somewhat of a radar. That's where I think that they're trying all this stuff out because they want it to work, obviously, right? In 1.0. But the flight model, all that stuff is one thing, but the testing what we will take with payments, I mean, could be taken as part of that. They need to figure out what the community is willing to pay money for, because what happens when 1.0 launches and their model
And
right now doesn't work as much, right?
because they have
Where's the money
mentioned
gonna
in the
come from?
past, like once the game goes live, they won't be selling like the big ships anymore. It'll just be the small starter pack, so to speak. But that may have changed since I've heard that multiple
It was
years
a
ago.
while ago they said that, yeah.
But
So
what do you think they're, in a 1.0 landscape, where do they get their money from? Do they keep Stanton and Pyro free and put the other three systems behind a subscription wall?
Nah,
Or
they've explicitly rejected subscription. Chris does not like subscriptions, which is why our probably one of the reasons why our subscription program we have right now kind of sucks and doesn't do much. But I don't know. I don't
Well, see,
think any of us really know what they're going to do for their funding model after.
I think this goes back to a couple of shows ago or last show or whenever we were talking about funding and the bar graphs and the funding dashboard and everything. And I made the point at the time, I'm like, people were talking about, well, they're not being profitable. And I'm like, well, it's not about being profitable. They're just right now we're in development. All they need to do is get close to break even every year. So they're funding the development. But then at some point, full on development goes to release. And once you release, then you want your project to make money. How's that going to happen? Are they going to keep
what
selling their
though?
ships?
No,
Or
wasn't there?
are they going to
Okay.
fund it in a different way? And
Uh,
I am not against subscriptions at all. I'd
hold on,
rather
hold
have
on, hold on.
subscriptions than a bunch of stuff in a store that ends up either it's a bunch of cosmetics or it's a bunch
Wicked.
of stuff that turns into a pay to win by power situation. Go ahead.
Okay, wasn't there a conversation at one point from CIG basically saying not necessarily it's going to be their cash cow, but actually just selling / leasing out the Star Engine to other companies that want to use, well, this engine that's been bastardized originally from the Unreal up until this point?
It's the
Crisis.
Cry engine. It's the
CryEngine, sorry, not Unreal. Sorry, CryEngine.
And
And then Lumberyard.
Well, it was
whatever it is
CryEngine and
now.
Lumberyard. Now it's Star Engine, I
Star
think.
Engine, which is basically a fork of Lumberyard, a fork of CryEngine, and the people who own the rights to it are Amazon. So I don't even know how that would work.
Kind it's
You
But
know,
yeah,
forking works in open developments and in open projects, but not, you know, behind closed doors project like what Star Citizen is. So I don't even know if they would be allowed to sell it, or if they did sell it, maybe a big chunk of that would go to the owner of the IP, which I think is currently Amazon. I'm not really 100% sure about that.
As far as their revenue, I see no evidence to suggest they'll alter course from the current. I mean, this is a machine that's been operating for over a
10
decade.
Over a decade, yeah.
It's over a decade. And these are large numbers that come in and out the door. Selling ships seems to be, I don't know if it's just addicted to it as a model, but why stop?
I could see it change. Like I'm kind of thinking the route that they'll go is big focus, of course, on starter ships, on starter packs. Those aren't going away ever. And then new ships, but less leeway on ships already released, like selling those less.
Well, I mean, also one thing you can look at is look at GTA Online,
Ugh.
right? I mean, the
Shark
only
cards.
shark cards. Look how
Ugh.
much money they make from that. What's there's already UEC for sale on the website.
Hold
I mean,
on.
maybe they'll just do that.
Could you
It's
explain
interesting.
what a shark card is, as I'm not familiar
You
with
buy
the...
in-game currency with real-world money. It's basically
So that's
RNG.
any video game on the face of the earth, then?
Nope, not
Well,
every
okay.
game.
Well, okay,
Just
so
mobile games.
mobile games have that. Warhammer Darktide has that, where you spend actual currency for a premium currency within the game. That's not a foreign concept.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
what I mean. So
this game
is
has
that
it,
the way
if
they
you
would
know where to
go?
look, like
It's a possibility, but
Yeah, but that
Eh,
sucks.
now
'cause, like,
you're trampling down the pay to win, so to speak, right? You buy $200,000 worth of AUE or UEC after 1.0, or even before 1.0. You're just swimming in money, and I mean, granted, what are you going to do with that is shrug. Could be buy a planet, set up a system on it.
Anything that gives you a leg up over somebody who doesn't have the same thing, in my book, means pay to win. And I think
is.
buying the ships is pay to win.
I
I don't care what anybody says. That you cannot convince
Okay.
me that having a ship is not pay to win. I mean, I feel like I'm paid to win. I got a Guardian MX. I'm more
Very
powerful
cool.
than the guy who doesn't have the Guardian MX. If he just starts in the Aurora, he's not going to have a very good day.
can't get the Aurora anymore.
I'm just, irregardless, you get the point. What I'm saying is that at some point, like, we're backers, we're followers, we're the sheeple, we're the you know, we've already been sold this bag of goods.
This
We're
dream.
all in. We've already adopted this as our game, you know, our forever game. If not, then you're crazy for whatever money you have spent. You're crazy for having spent it, unless you just bought like just $30-$40 to try it. Then maybe you have an argument. But everybody in this in this call has spent more than that. I know for sure. Secondly, once the game goes mainstream, and people that maybe have been laughing at us all these years, but then they see the final product and they're like, oh wow, I want to play that, but I'm not going to pay $1,000 to get a bunch of ships or one ship. All I want to do is pay enough. What does a game cost? Well, maybe by the time this comes out, your average game is $80. Oh, I can see paying $80 and get me into the game. But if I'm expected to spend, like some people have, thousands of dollars, that's just not going to fly. It's just never going to work. Nobody's going to do that. We might as enthusiasts and backers, but your everyday player is never going to do that. You
You
got to
only
think
need a few.
outside the
have
box.
to. They don't have to.
Yeah, and you only need a few.
What do you
though.
mean they don't have to?
They don't have to. They can play the game.
Okay,
There's
that's
no
not going to work
no one's
because
putting
What
a
are you
gun to
talking
the back
about?
of
You
their
can
head that
play
they
the
have
game
to
and
carve
grind
it out.
up. That's how games work.
And
That's-
I know
that
a
is how
lot of
games
players
work.
that are like that,
yes,
where they only
yes,
have
but
like a must-win beta.
Well, yeah, but if you
but
pay to
whenever
win, you
whenever
pay
somebody
not
has an
grind.
advantage that have spent more money, that's not going to work. It's just not going to work. It never works in any game. It kills games.
True. Well,
It just
I don't
kills.
know. Even like I brought this up before, even Call of Duty and Halo, they stopped doing that stuff like years ago,
Let's
and they just
let's do a
cosmetics.
hypothetical.
Fortnite.
Let's say 4.2 is the release client. Let's say the game releases, right? 4.2 is the release. Everybody here, all of us in this call right now have an advantage. Let's say the price on the tin to play Star Citizen is $50. And with that you get a ship and that's it. Everybody who doesn't have all these major ships already are going to cry foul.
Because that's an absurd hypothetical.
Why
We're
is it?
missing so many systems that make owning bigger ships more of a hassle.
Okay.
There's a lot of things that aren't implemented yet for bigger ships that will actually cripple them.
Insurance, logistics, crew, etc., etc. Like the
The
list
new
is
coming
long.
flight model with the
Okay.
airstream.
All right.
So if I land in Idris on
I'm
a planet,
tilting at
that's not
windmills
going to
over
be
here.
easy. Of course, you're tilting windmills. You're just blowing a lot of hot air.
I don't think so. Well, we'll see when it releases if we're all still alive.
Probably not.
I know.
We'll
could
see.
not
We'll
be.
see how it all works out. We'll see how it all works out if it ever releases. Hopefully I'm wrong. I truly hope I'm wrong, but track records what they are with these funding models and with these games and how things. Now obviously nothing has ever been funded like Star Citizen, and maybe they have an ace up their sleeve to say, oh, by the way, this is how it's going to work and everybody's going to be happy with it. Highly unlikely, but maybe they do. I'll give them
It
the
still
benefit of the doubt.
works. I mean, the community backlash that was there last week or 2 weeks ago is still as loud as that was. I popped into somebody else for like an Idris operation, and we were joking, talking about the new Atlas military, mech that's going to be able to shoot, and both being upset with the blades practice. It was like, are you gonna buy the mech? And it was like, oh, absolutely, bro. Are you kidding? They got me by the balls. Yeah, I'm gonna buy it. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, girlfriend just picked up the Asgard. Like, this system is working. There's just no reason I see for them to change what is. I mean, this is the golden goose. This is the ship sales seem to lay all the eggs for them funding wise. I hope they sell the engine. Maybe that opens up new paths for the company. But I think we're in for ship sales for a long time in terms of for forever. I just don't see any incentive for them to change because now they can still develop. If they reach 1.0, like I almost they're growing, they're being more ambitious. 1.0 has such a finality sound to it. I know, believe it when it comes, and hopefully that is in the next year, 2 years. Hopefully.
There's so much that can come afterwards, though. Like that 1.0 feels arbitrary, and it is because there's just more to come afterwards, and that's also worth looking forward to.
Yeah, continual development. All the more reason I think they'll keep with what they've got as far as the funding model. Seems to be working. And they'll further incentivize, I think, even their subscription service if there's any need for
Private
additional funds.
servers. That's one way to go. They've promised it many times over the years. It's just And that's I've always visualized an easy way of doing that is they're partnering with AWS to spin up special instances for private universes,
I hope they never
and
do that.
people will pay money for that.
I think that'd be a big
Oh
mistake.
my gosh, they're gonna
I
pay
think-
money for their own, but like it's a MMO.
Yeah,
I think it needs to be a single shard. Everybody plays in the same universe.
Yep.
You log
Totally.
in. If I go to Yella and there's 10,000 people on Yella,
Yeah.
I see all 10,000. That's how it should be.
Like,
Like
oof.
Eve.
Here
I
we
mean,
go.
that's what I'd hope for. A single simulated universe where however many systems, and then
I mean,
That's what they
unfortunately,
sold me on.
geographically, we're going to have splits. It's just
Oh, if you want to talk about splits, so we're
I
just
hope not.
entering June now, June 2025. We're at 63 million, meaning we've surpassed. What is this? August 2024, August
Mhm.
2023. We're just about past July 2022, and then 2019 has been blown right past. So-
This time last year, we would have been in
We're nearly
September.
half of what we funded of last year right now.
And
shit. So
we're past. Well, you need to make money real quick. Release an Idris.
I mean, they literally
that's what
did that.
I mean. They did that.
That's exactly.
Do it again.
Well, even okay,
Now
so
think-
even
think-
without looking at May, looking at April, we're
Even before the Idris, they were making bank. It was
yeah.
I don't know from what, but oh right, Hornets. Yeah, the Hornet
The-
people.
I think it was the the not the
Well, it was the Heartseeker, but
What-
All right. So hold up.
anyways.
Murphy, after
Yep.
China, after China, we talked about the Prowler,
Uh,
the possibility of a
mean-
new Prowler variant coming out.
pass.
Getting
I
buff
heard
like crazy now.
I heard something about it being a useful or something, but I don't know. It is whatever. Alien ship, right?
Right.
Okay. And then we spoke about Shveet said that they're gonna have a new Hornet variant.
Allegedly.
What?
Allegedly in Wicklow's thing, there's
Oh,
a
Wicklow.
Hornet.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be a Wicklow Hornet. It's gonna have a fancy paint up skin. Wow, that's paint. And probably the same kind of components you get on the executive. I'd have to look at the spreadsheet again, but
I'm curious about it because what was it, the Scorpius or one of the other ships from the first time Wicklow had like an extra component for it. So I wonder what CIG's plan is if they go in that direction.
then
Just looking at
We'll
that
see.
footage. Space whales, one day, right?
One day space whales. All right. Well, I think that was the whole show. Did I miss something from Murphy Jack there? Nothing.
All right.
All right. Well, Tav, you know what we usually do now.
A yun dun 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 dun.
No. We got to do a Cruz Lux commercial.
I saw. You know what? We have different writing for a different commercial.
Oh, you have is
The one you wrote.
what did I write?
No, we got apparently.
Do you
it's
have it?
something- I do. I'm looking at it.
Oh yeah. All right. I mean, when you're ready.
All right, I haven't read all the way through this, but sometimes we feel the urge. We get up and we go. Traveling the verse brings unexpected challenges, and the Idris P is there to put out the fires and come our way. With a huge capacity and facilities to maximize workflow, the UE Navy kept things zipped up and held it back for general release for decades. But now there's no holding the P back. Idris is proud to release P into the verse. This week during Aegisathon, there's a special incentives and free test drives available. Visit your happy, helpful Aegis dealer and see how you'd like their P today.
That's great. No notes.
All right.
I
read it.
What? Say the line about the pee. Like, what was it? Hold your pee. Grab.
This is you.
I didn't write that.
You're-
I
Oh.
didn't write that. I've never seen it. I don't know where that came from. Where'd you get that?
Okay. I don't know. I thought no, you're not gonna pin this on me.
No,
This is,
I
I just
didn't-
read what's on the cards. I just read what's on the cards, man.
Oh man. All right.
It was in the prompter. It was in the prompter.
Yo, anything you put in the prompter, Tav will read.
It's true.
All right. Well, I didn't write that, but Wicket is your first guest this evening, our 18th guest. Proud of you. Thank you for coming by. Is there anything you want to say to CIG, Chris Roberts, or the people on the internet?
Yes, Sandy, Chris Roberts. I've noticed recently a lot of photos with Sandy, and you're starting to bring your kids around with you. You know, getting them more well known to the Star Citizen community. And I'm thinking, is that because they're about to age out and they don't think they can make it to the end of development? So now they're having to bring the kids in to, to pick up the mantle and carry it over the finish line. Just wondering. That is all.
Wow, food for thought there from Wicket. Thank you. No, it wasn't Cosmic. He wasn't prepared. So then we went to Shveet. Shveet,
Ouch.
anything you want to say to Chris Roberts, CIG, or the people on the internet?
Keep doing a good job, whatever it is that you do.
Nice.
Yeah,
Hobo, Cosmic Hobo. Anything you want to say to CIG, Chris Roberts, the people on the internet?
Release 4.2 sooner than later, please, so we can get back to normal servers.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And we will fight the worm.
Murphy Jack, anything you want to say to CIG, Chris Roberts, or the people on the internet?
No.
All right. Tav, that was it. Another one in the books, baby.
Another one for the books. Let's do
All
that.
right.
Let's we're gonna do a fun little one the next time. We'll do it live from inside the verse for our next one.
Okay. Next Wednesday?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna have a show next Wednesday, and then
Open for a patch by then, but we'll see how it goes.
yeah, and then we're gonna go on vacation for a week. So we're not gonna be here for Alien Week. We're not gonna be here for the beginning of Alien Week. We're gonna be here for the end of Alien Week.
It's a shame. I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, most exciting time of the year. So see you next week. Tav, play us out.
Yes. So dun 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 dun.
Dun 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 dun.